All right, we're at the dealership. This is actually not the car I was originally coming to see, but this is a 301A package, manual, and it has the active exhaust. Trying to work out a deal right now. I don't want to be that guy, but if we can make the numbers work, because they're trying to add on a bunch of fees that I don't need, we can get the numbers to work. Might be pulling the trigger on this. Not gonna drive off with it today because obviously I pulled up in a car, so I want to get this thing washed, but it's looking good, man. I kind of want to show you guys, like, see how this one doesn't really have the gap with the headlights. How this is pretty good. But look at this one. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know what the hell is going on with the Fords, but if you're looking for a 2024, make sure you guys check that out. Obviously, brand new car. I'm not trying to deal with that. This is something else. This is a base. Look at this. Not dealing with that. This is a 300A, but we can make that 301A work out. You can see the gap right here. Bad. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I did not get the one yesterday. But if we can make it work out today, look, man, I want to go with my boy, but I'm going to take delivery of the car, drive it home, man. Whew. Honestly, this paint in low light looks black. I honestly thought the car was black when I first came here, but these S650s look good, man. I'm gonna hit this, oh, it sounds good, bro. With nothing done to the exhaust, it sounds good. It's super deep.
One eternity later.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. And man, where has the time gone? In a couple of days, it is officially going to be 1 year with my daily driven S650 Mustang GT. Now, this has hands down been the best daily I've ever had. I absolutely love the 2024 Mustang GT. This car is a monster, and in my personal opinion, it is one of the best Mustangs to buy if you're looking to get into your first Mustang. This car just does it all. You can daily it, you can race it, and it's overall a very, very comfortable and fun experience. If you guys enjoy the content on the channel, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications, and let's go for a little drive and talk about my experience with the S650, the 2024 Mustang GT, over the past year. Pretty much everything is positive with this car, which is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, the first thing we got to do here is make sure we have the car in drag mode. Now, the reason I go ahead and put the car in drag mode is because I do have the MT82 version of the S650. I know a lot of people have their opinions on the MT82. A lot of people asked when I first bought this car, why didn't you get a 10-speed, considering the fact that you already have a Tremec Mustang, the Shelby GT350. And the reason was, I just love banging gears, man. Because this car's not tunable, I wanted something that was gonna be fun and enjoyable to drive, even if I wasn't, you know, racing it. And in my personal opinion, you know, the stick shift, that's the way to go, man. It's just more engaging, in my personal opinion, and it's just a little bit more fun to drive, in my personal opinion. Everybody has their own reasonings why they get a manual, why they get a 10-speed, but I personally just love the manual because it's just a blast. The only modifications I've done to the S650, which I've not done a lot to this car because it is my daily, and on top of that, you can't tune it. I did go ahead and change out the stock knob to a billet works knob, which I highly recommend going ahead and doing so. And I also do have a Steeda H-pipe on the car as well to give it a little more sound. You guys could probably tell when I started it up and driving it, this car doesn't sound like it does stock. Now my car does have the active mufflers, which are amazing. I think this car sounds amazing with the stock headers, the Steeda H-pipe, and the active mufflers. It's not too loud, not too quiet. It's perfect, especially in the drag mode. And if you do need to quiet up the car, it is legitimately quiet. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. Press the Mustang button, and like, it literally doesn't make any noise. Like, it is as quiet as a mouse, and that's exactly why I like the setup I have currently, because it is daily friendly. Like, in a school zone like I am right now, you could just quite literally turn off the exhaust. You're not gonna attract any attention. And obviously when you get out the school mode, you can go ahead and put the exhaust back in the track mode or the sport mode, and it's gonna open it up quite nice. That's why I like this car, man, because you can literally do it all. Super easy to drive. You got the rev match with this vehicle. We have the clutch assist, the clutch protection. There's a lot of things in the S650 Mustang that make it user-friendly, but at the same time, there are some things here that are going to not necessarily help the performance if you are trying to drive the car hard. It technically could hurt it depending on how you look at it, but once these cars are tunable, I think a lot of that will actually go away. Now, I will go ahead and say this: if you are someone that loves to bang gears, with the clutch protection that these cars do come with from the factory on the factory tune, you do have to be very, very careful, because in my personal opinion, sometimes when you start getting up in the high RPMs, it can lock you out. And if you try to no lift shift, it is going to be delayed, and that's going to be the clutch protection going ahead and protecting, obviously, the stock components on the vehicle. All right, let's try it out. A 60 roll, no lift. Yeah, you see, like, like how there's like a delay. Roll down my windows. Absolutely love the way this car sounds, man. I'm gonna open it up in this video, do not worry, but kind of want to give you guys the full experience, like, you know, kind of just cruising, and then obviously going ahead, getting some pulls in. Open it up right now since we're on the little feeder. Car sounds good. Pull strong. Man, dude, I absolutely love this car. I think it sounds amazing. I know everybody has their opinions, but I think these S650s sound amazing, man. That rev match coming in handy right there. Now, something I will go ahead and be 100% honest, because this is a base model, this is a 301A, it does have the heated and cooled seats. I do not have the oil cooler. You are gonna have to be very wary with your old temps. My old temps right now, when I did that pull, got up to 244, which is actually kind of ridiculous when you think about it, because, you know, I just did one pull, you know, after going ahead and just driving the car regularly, as if you were just going to the grocery store, which ironically what I'm doing right now. I do wish that I did get a performance pack, because this is something that you're gonna have to think about when you are driving this car when the weather is warm. It's about 86 degrees right now here in Texas, and one pull, the car got to 244. My personal opinion, I don't like my old temps really getting over, realistically, 240, because once it hits 260, 270, the car can potentially go into limp mode, and obviously you don't want that to happen. So if you are going to be getting a non-performance pack S650, or if you're not going to be getting a dark horse, keep that in mind. You either want to make sure you're paying attention or opt to go ahead and get an oil cooler as one of your modifications, because you are going to have to get that done if you plan on beating on the car, you know, quite frequently, especially if you do live somewhere where it gets really, really hot, you know, like Texas, Arizona, Florida, any type of southern state. You're definitely gonna have to get an oil cooler. But for me personally, I just kind of monitor the temps. I don't beat on it like back to back to back to back to back. You know, there's really no reason to do that, but just keep that in mind. That's one complaint I have with the S650. That's like really the only big issue I have with this car, is the oil temps get crazy high. I do think they're gonna go ahead and update that in future years, because, you know, one pull getting to 240, 244 is kind of crazy in my personal opinion. Now, as far as daily drivability goes, this car is amazing. It's super easy to drive, super comfortable. Honestly, a little bit too comfortable in my personal opinion. Like, this car kind of feels like a cruiser in a way. When I do go ahead and do modifications to this vehicle, because I do plan on getting headers for this car, I do plan on getting lighter wheels, lighter tires, as well as stickier tires, as well as switching out the front Brembros for some aerospace brakes. I do plan on actually going ahead and getting a bucket seat, because I like to have the tight feel when I am going ahead and racing the car. It just makes me feel a bit more secure, and it makes me feel a little bit more safe. Even though, like, there's nothing wrong with the stock seats, I personally think that they're just a little bit too comfortable, and there's a little bit too much movement that can happen. But again, you know, it's one of those things where these cars, especially the base models without the Recaros, you know, they're designed to accommodate, you know, if you were to daily drive the vehicle, which ironically is what I'm doing right now. So I love it for daily drivability, but if you're looking for something that you're going to, you know, race hard and modify, obviously buying the base model is a good idea because they're lighter, but you might want to look into getting a seat upgrade, because, you know, the seats, they're a little bit too comfortable. I mean, these are heated and cooled seats. It's super nice when it gets cold, and also, you know, when it's warm, you can, you know, cool yourself down. But as far as just racing goes, you definitely want to go ahead and keep that in mind. I think these are a little bit too comfortable, but definitely, you know, not a deal breaker in my personal opinion. Trunk size is good. The car overall just feels like a Mustang. It feels like a more premium Mustang, even though this is a base model. I don't mind the screens. I know a lot of people do not like the screens. I personally don't mind them, just for the fact that it does show a lot of things that I personally like to see. Cylinder head temps, oil pressure, air fuel ratio. Everything's really, really easy to see at like a quick glance, and that's why I like the screens. So again, it's just one of those things where you're either gonna love it or absolutely hate it. But I feel like, for the most part, for people who hate the screens, maybe they've never driven the car. If you live with the car for like a couple days, you'll get over it, because I really wasn't a huge fan on the screens until I actually like test drove it, and I just got over it completely after, you know, I drove the car, got a feel like, okay, this car is nice. The screens, you know, it is what it is. Do I wish it had the analog gauges like how I have in my Shelby GT350? Absolutely. But again, this is not going to be a deal breaker for me personally, because it shows what I need to see, and it is quite nice, very visible at night, you know, in, you know, broad daylight's easy. So that's exactly why I don't really mind the screens. But these cars, I love them, man. If you're looking at getting your first Mustang, I think this is definitely a car you should be looking at if you can obviously afford one, because these are, you know, they're not on the cheap side. They're a little bit expensive, but in my personal opinion, you know, the performance, if you're looking for just something that you don't really want to modify a lot, ironically, I would say the S650 is pretty decent, because right now I am actually running a little bit of an E blend. I have an E40 blend in the car right now. Usually I run E30, but, you know, I bumped it up a little bit. Still stock tune, obviously, because you can't tune these, but this car performs quite well. You know, I've raced it up against a lot of cars that I thought I should 100% get smoked by, and it was either door to door or I won. I've raced stock 10 speeds, I've raced modified 10 speeds, I've raced modified older gen Mustangs, a lot of Gen 1 Mustangs. Race actually. Up my shift, but yeah, that was a good ass race.
Moments later.
Race right there.
A few moments later.
Good race with the truck. Shit, don't fuck with those trucks. That was a good race with the truck. I gotta be doing 60s in this car though, bro. Anything less than a 60, the gearing with this D4 is too long. Ironically. If this car came out like 3-4 years ago, man, you know, this would be, you know, like a race car for me. I ain't gonna lie, because this would have been, you know, no cap, my fastest car. So I really enjoy the S650. I think it's a complete package. And like I said, if you're looking for your first Mustang, something that you can just jump into, easy to drive, and that, you know, has the performance and comfortability, I think the S650 is there. Obviously, you can go further with the Gen 3 cars as of right now, but if you want something that, you know, you want to buy brand new, because I know a lot of people care about buying a brand new car that they know full history behind because nobody's had it but them, and you want to go ahead and modify it as you see fit or leave it stock and just enjoy it, you can't really go wrong with these whatsoever, especially if you opt for a performance pack or a dark horse. Definitely one of those two, because they would have been amazing. I wish, if I knew about the oil temperatures and whatnot, and just the overall, just, I guess, upgrade and just, you know, the feel, I probably would have waited and opted for a performance pack or a dark horse, or just went with Lebanon Ford and got a Whipple performance pack. But at the same time, this base model, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just gonna modify it how I see fit, because it's a base model. I intend on turning this into like the race car, so, you know, I'm gonna obviously remove the interior, boost it, and do stuff like that. But, you know, if I wanted something that, you know, I just essentially didn't want to do really much with, you know, I would just trade this in, go get a dark horse, Whipple it, and call it a day, or a performance pack, Whipple it, and call it a day. Like, I absolutely love these cars, and if I didn't like this car, I would have sold it by now, long time ago, you know, because I actually was gonna get rid of it a couple months ago, believe it or not. But I started messing around with the E30 tune, and I started to realize that, man, you know, as a daily driver, this is super nice. It's super comfortable, super fun to drive. And with just, you know, an E-blend on the stock tune, you know, it wakes these way up, and it's super enjoyable to drive. So that's exactly why I decided to keep it, and I'm glad I did, because, man, dude, this car, it really does surprise me. It's a blast to drive, and it's essentially stock. Like, I literally have an 800 horsepower car in my garage, and I still enjoy doing pulls in a car that makes 400 horsepower. That goes to tell you, whew, how fun these are and how capable these are. Because if I was not enjoying this, I definitely would have sold it. Definitely would have sold it. But I sold a 600 horsepower car to get into here, and I don't miss it at all. This is, whew, even though it's a little bit slower, just the whole experience, the package, it's definitely there. Definitely there. Gets the job done too. Race people on the weekend and literally go get groceries like I'm doing right now.
A few moments later.
All right, grocery shopping complete. Doing daily things. Ooh, it is hot, y'all. I'll tell you that right now. I'm gonna do another hit. I'm curious what the oil temp's gonna get up to. It's 204 right now. Obviously the car has been cooling, chilling. I don't know if it's just me, but I always like to let the car drop the RPM when I first turn it on before I do a hit. But that might be just me. Turn on the gauges. Got a rush hour, but I think we'll be all right. Shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully my groceries don't come flying up front because I do have my seat back just to get more sound. Go ahead and disable advanced track. Little 60. Tim got to 240. Not bad. I love how the tires chirp though. Definitely need to go ahead and upgrade the tires though, for sure. It's crazy, just a little E85, splash of E85 really does wake this car up for real, big time. It is a massive difference. That's probably the reason why I just love it, because just a little E85 just wakes it all the way up. Are long with this MT82, but with boost I think it'll be nice. 8A is a little bit too long because third gear, like going, oh, I still got time, going, then shift, and then fourth gear it's really like going, oh my gosh, going. Do I need to shift yet? Nope. Going, finally. It's crazy. I've actually never like rung fourth gear out all the way in this car yet, just because it's just so long. so long. Those downshifts, man. Sound absolutely incredible. All right, we are back at the casa. Car is dirty, but that means I drive it. Absolutely love it. Fully stocked. Besides the H-pipe, the shifter, as well as the shift knob. But man, this car, hands down, best daily I've ever had. If you are on the fence of picking up a 2024 Mustang GT, 2025 Mustang GT, Performance Pack, Dark Horse, or base model like I have, I highly recommend going ahead and pulling the trigger. If you guys enjoy, feel free. Drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications. It's been your boy Ears, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Deuces.